The Celtic Unrestricted View is sponsored by AB Entertainment. It's a DJ and entertainment business, and we are also partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. Both our sponsor and our partner are on social media and can be found on Facebook or Instagram. So feel free, guys, to check them out as they offer fantastic services, and enjoy the upcoming episode. Hail, hail. Good evening and welcome along to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP. Joining me tonight, we've got Alan and Ryan. But first of all, lads, 6 of the best for Celtic. Made it off a cold here in Glasgow. It was -8 for a short pace of time. And now we move into the next game, which is tomorrow. Big one over in Germany. We take on Borussia Dortmund. But before I come into all that and all the good stuff, Ryan, I hope you're well, pal. It's good to see you and I hope you had a nice weekend.
Aye, all good, mate. Obviously, the result at the weekend was the kind of rounding off of the weekend, mate. We'll dive out into it a wee bit more as we go along, but aye, that was fantastic, mate. I think that's me saying that to be kind of a wee bit, I don't want to say too much and be, it was amazing, this and that, but it really was. There's loads of things that we can get into because that was pretty impressive. Doesn't matter if it's in Johnston or no. That was incredible, some of the football. It's a joy to watch, but a really good place for tomorrow's game, mate. So, yeah, overall, it's been good, mate, and looking forward to chat with yourselves and some of the callers tonight and obviously the build up to the game tomorrow.
Yeah, Alan, obviously it's been a great weekend for us all, mate. And again, hope you're well and you enjoyed your weekend yourself.
Yeah, no, just as Ryan says, very impressive performance on Saturday. Very enjoyable to watch. So overall, good weekend. 6-0 victory on Saturday night. And we got to watch the Harry Potter cast do the slosh yesterday. So that was a good laugh as well. But yeah, on to tomorrow, and it's going to be a different kind of kettle of fish. We're up against kind of Champions League finalists that are used to playing against kind of Europeans, Europe's elite. So it will be extremely difficult, but we'll get into this game in a very, very good place, and it's probably as well prepared as we possibly could be. So it will be interesting. Maybe some of it will be hiding behind a chair or a couch at some points, but hopefully we can hold our own, and this will be the kind of acid test of where we've came to under kind of Brendan's coaching.
Yeah, and again, before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, I'm going to say a wee hello to the commenters, you guys that are tuning in. Hope you're all well. Hope September weekend was lovely to you and you've had a nice time. If you went away, enjoyed that as well. But if not, you stayed here like myself and you watched us on Saturday night, was, I think some of my neighbours must have thought I was like the Harlem Globetrotters bouncing about my living room, honestly. I was doing somersaults and backflips a lot, man. It was amazing. Great experience. P. McLaughlin, he says, I hope we get 2 more clean sheets for the league record of clean sheets from the start of a season. And Jem is in also. Evening, JP, Ryan and Alan and the chat. And Ange Aludgen says, I remember when 6 of the best meant getting a leather belt at school. Unfortunately, we were very good friends. I could probably, some of your comments on here, I could actually probably say that's probably right, aye, I'd imagine. Because if I was your teacher, some of your comments on here, I think you'd have deserved 6 of the best, and so I can see where you're coming from there. Jerry Burns joining us also. He says, good evening, everyone on the pod. Hopefully 6 of the best tomorrow night. Only one can dream. Dreams come true, Jerry. I will say, but I'm not getting into that with you now, but aye. Stephen Kennedy also says, evening, JP, Ryan and Alan. Plunges in as well. Says, evening, boys. And Chris Murray as well joining us. He said, evening, boys. The chat, hail, excited for tomorrow. We all are. Plunges also popped into the Morven lads for a wee pint. He's happy with the prices and obviously he's good to go for the live event, obviously then. Who else have we got? We got MD else in tonight. Aye, James Kennedy also joining us as well. And I think that's about it. So the ones I can see that are saying good evening. So I will stick with that now. Yes, so what a Saturday it was for us all. Ryan, obviously getting into the game, we spoke on Friday night, mate, about the type of challenge Celtics sometimes face when they go up to Perth, and you look at December last season, we were 1-0 down at half time, and that's not happening this season, mate. This team's, they're on I'm going to say it, mate, they're on a different planet. You know, they're tuned in. Brendan's comments at the end of the game, I wanted a Champions League mentality going into this league game. I mean, for me, mate, to go for St Johnstone into Dortmund and have that mentality that St Johnstone were going to be the Dortmund of the Saturday night you were playing, for me, that's just remarkable, mate, to keep all the players tuned into, you know, what they've got to do. But then Brendan must be one happy man, Ryan, to see what he's telling them in theory, and they're going out and doing in physical. So they're actually doing it on the pitch. You see it all come to fruition, mate. It's been absolutely brilliant. And I just feel now as the season's going on, we just seem to be getting better and better, mate. The performance level's going higher and higher. And I think we could be in for a very, very good season this season, right?
I think it's clear to see that the manager's message is finally getting across to the players, and new signings have stepped in really well. Trusted done well. I thought Alex Valle done well as well when they came on, and they two were wrote off against Falkirk. And now fans are saying that Valle done brilliant and Trusted looks good in the ball, but against Falkirk they were not very good. And this is why sometimes us as fans we really need to. You can't judge somebody on 45 minutes or 60 minutes. It's very hard, especially when you're coming. Well, Sheffield United are a massive club, but Celtic are even bigger, and you've got Alex Valle, who obviously Barcelona, incredible, unbelievable, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Mm-hmm. But he's not playing every week with him, and then he's come to settle in a different country. So some guys don't have it half right away, and listen, they might not have it half again. That might be the only game they had it half, but we can only talk on now. And the two of them are decent, very decent in the game. The way Trusty hits the ball, it's crisp, it's fast, his touch is booming, it's away. But like he says, yes, St Johnstone to Dortmund is totally different, but we'll talk about the Dortmund obviously as we go along. But just on St Johnstone, I've seen, it's a wee thing I want to put across that I've seen on Sunday and Saturday on social media. From other fan bases in Scotland, St Johnstone, Aberdeen, them across the water, writing some of people's comments on Twitter. You have got every right to beat St Johnstone 4 and 5 and 6. You spend 30 million, you spend this. Right, so when we go and play Real Madrid and Barcelona, you all say that we get embarrassed. You are terrible in Europe, you are this, you're that. Wait a minute, we've only spent £20 million. They're spending £150 million on one player sometimes. £100 million on one player. So you can't just say that to suit your agenda. Just because we've spent a bit of money this year and we've always spent money on other teams, you need to be in front of you. So last year when we were only winning 1-0 or 2-1, were you saying how it was a big financial gap then? you can't just suit your agenda with us because we get beat in Europe after these bigger teams. But then when we beat teams here in our own league, maybe a cricket score, that it's no fair. That's not how football works. You can only beat what's in front of you. Celtic can spend what they're allowed to spend, and that's unlucky for the rest of Scottish football. So if Celtic beat Rangers 3-0 and they were close to water, is that embarrassing for them because we've spent a bit of money, spent my money on them? Do you know what I mean? That's probably, like you say, an open goal. That's my pet peeve of the week. That's what's really. It's all right because we get beat Europe and we've spent a wee bit of money, but then when we beat our own league, it's no fair. Or that's what should be happening. No,
it's as if it's expected, isn't it?
Obviously, in terms of on paper, we should be winning maybe 2 and 3 and maybe scoring a few good goals. Yes, that's just the way it is because you've got better players. But you've not the right to win by 6 goals or 5-0 or 7 or 9-0 at Paradise a few years ago. You've not the right to win any game of football. So, but I don't know what you think of that, lads, but there were some of the comments that just for me, you've got to, you can't just sit to suit your argument. So if we get beat 4-0 or 5-0 tomorrow, right, the media will be Celtic away again in Europe, pumped, embarrassed, this and that, but they've not realised that Dortmund have spent more money on us. Or other teams have spent more money, but it's embarrassing for us. But for St Johnstone, it's all right because we spent more money. That's not the way it works.
Alan, obviously, Ryan's take on that is the money side of things, and people are saying that's why Celtic beat St Johnstone the other night with the 6 goals, and you look at Celtic's bench and what's coming off the bench, etc. But for me, that's just nonsense.
Aye, get him out, Sean. We're living in this day and age where it's clickbait most of it. Every kind of news outlet, anybody that's online's looking for that kind of that click to try and make a kind of name for themselves. So they're trying to be as crazy a comments as possible. And Ryan's spot on with what he's saying. There shouldn't be any difference in the comparison with regards to us in St Johnstone and the likes of kind of Real Madrid or Barcelona in comparison to Celtic, because they're spending the relevant amount that we spend more than the likes of St Johnstone or Ross County, etc. So it shouldn't be, you have to take it one way or the other. If we should be beating St Johnstone, then by all rights we should be getting beat off of kind of the likes of Real Madrid and Dortmund. And anything otherwise in that kind of train of thought, anything otherwise would be a kind of massive result. And we're not kidding ourselves. We're playing exceptionally well at the minute. This is probably the best start of the season that I can remember for a long time, and possibly even in my lifetime, the way we played football. But when we get into tomorrow night's game, we can't kid ourselves. This Dortmund is a completely different animal for the likes that we're playing week in, week out in the Scottish Premier League. So they are kind of amongst the elite clubs in Europe, getting into the Champions League final last year. And I'd probably say for the first kind of 60 minutes of that game, they deserve to be in front against Real Madrid last year as well. They played really well. So it's going to be a challenging task. I think Ryan's spot on that we can't take this lightly, but the St Johnstone game, it's still a fantastic performance, fantastic result, and it puts us in as best a place possible going into this kind of tough task tomorrow night. And we can only kind of pray that we carry out the same kind of performances that we have, maybe with a few wee tweaks, because I think that we'll maybe set up slightly more defensive than we have done maybe against kind of St Johnstone, etc. But we're at the big table, so it's an exciting time to be a Celtic fan. We're at the elite competition, and we're there to kind of try and compete as best as we possibly can. So it's very exciting times going into the game tomorrow night.
Yeah, 100%. And it is time tonight for our first call, which is none other than Mr. Francis Lester. Good evening, Francis. How are you, mate?
Evening, boys.
Evening, mate.
Glad to have, after all these years, enjoyed the joy of 6. Just a wee
Aye.
play for an old book I read a few years ago.
How you doing, mate? Anyway, okay? We had a nice weekend?
I'm good, mate. Yeah. I was actually babysitting my granddaughter all week, so I've been absolutely shut.
Needing a holiday now?
Running about like a greenhouse fly. Hope so.
That's all right, mate. Francis, I said ours last week, and for me, ours is fine. But they say it's swearing, to me, it's fine. I don't
Sorry,
say
that's just another £2 in the swear jar now, half a bay fees.
Well,
Francis, are you using your mobile?
Yes.
See if you turn it to the side, we'll get to see you a wee bit better. So
All
if you
right.
turn it that way, there we go. That's a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah, mate. So
Yeah, you guys have
funky specimen of a human being.
aye, definitely.
God.
But what's your points tonight, mate?
No, well, listen, like everybody else, I watched the game Saturday night and I thought we were absolutely exceptional. You know, the only thing that's worrying me is I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of fans giving it, you know, oh, that says we're going to beat Dortmund, we're playing brilliant, and we're playing brilliant. But as Alan said before I come on there, we need to temper that with the fact that what we're playing against in Scotland, you're going to play at Dortmund, who are a total, as Alan said, a different kettle of fish. They're a quality side, and let's not kid ourselves, because they get beat a couple of weeks ago, everybody, oh, that's it, we're going to go in there and turn them over, you know. I still think it's going to be a very, very difficult game. I'm hoping for a draw, to tell you the truth, because I think that's about as good as we'll get out there, because I think we'll never underestimate teams, but I just think they're still at a level that is a bit above what we're playing against week in, week out. If we win, I'll be delighted like everybody else, you know, but I don't like to see everybody giving it all. Everybody's saying we're going to win 2-0, we're going to win 3-1, we're going to win. I never hate predicting, especially games at that level. So that's my only fear, you know, that we kind of go into it too cocky. You know, I don't think Brendan would let the players get that way anyway. And I listened to his talk after the game, and he kind of tempered that by saying, look, we're playing against a quality side. So I don't think Brendan will let the players get that way, but we've got to be a lot tighter at the back, you know, when it comes to playing this you know, level of football. So that's basically my thoughts for it, you know. Fingers
Francis,
crossed.
do you think it's more a case of the way we're prepared since pre-season? For me, this season's been a continuation of that. Brendan's alluded to the fact that we set up differently against Man City and Chelsea with the Champions League in mind. But he's also installed a mindset in the players, like we heard them on Saturday, to say we're treating these games like we're entering a Champions League fixture. So I think there's maybe something different in that, mate, the way the players are focused this season.
I do. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that, you know, but I still feel we need to wait till we've played Dortmund and see what the result is, and then I'll judge it on that, because I don't think, with all due respect to the team we've already played, they were near at the level of Dortmund, and we did fantastically well. Putting 5 past them was superb, but there was a couple of wee instances in that game where we could have lost a couple of goals, you know, especially in the first half. I mean, we're old pal who used to play with that wee team out of the water, you know. He had a great chance. If he'd have took the right decision, could have scored. You know, they did get a goal as well against us in the second half. So I think we're playing against a higher quality striker and forward. So I still think, because CCV is out, I think that's what's making me feel that way. You know, I just feel as if we're not at full strength for this one, and that kind of worries me a wee bit. You know, with CCV in the back, where I'd be a lot more confident. You know, I thought Boy Trusty done fantastically well on Saturday, sorry, but playing against a different calibre of player.
Yeah.
You know?
Alan, obviously, Francis, speaking there about CCV, and obviously we understand he's not travelled and he's not trained with the squad, so but you've got to be saying to yourself, man, we paid £6 million for Austin Trusty. I had a laugh with Ryan the other day, trusty kind of thing, you know, with that kind of the cliche word, but surely this is what the big lad has been brought in for, because this isn't the first time Cameron Carter-Vickers is kind of fell injured at these bigger games, and he missed a bit of the Champions League for his last season as well. But in saying that, surely this big lad's coming in to, obviously to hold, not just hold his own, but maybe even do a bit of damage within the squad and stake a claim for his position.
That's, possibly. I don't think we've seen enough of Trusty at present to put him in any of the same kind of comparisons with Carter Vickers at present.
Sorry, I was just basing that on the price tag we paid for him, Alan. Basically.
Yeah, no, we need to trust Brendan that he's kind of chose to invest that amount of kind of finance into one centre half. I think it's a monumental miss that it's going to be for Carter Vickers. We know what Carter Vickers could do. We know that 9 times out of 10 he's massively reliable. We know that he's probably our best defender in most of the fans' opinions. And we're hoping that the performance that we've seen at the weekend for Trusty, which looked pretty decent to be fair, we're hoping he can take that into tomorrow night's game. But at the end of the day, as Francis said before there, it was St Johnstone the other night as well. It's going to be a completely different animal and completely different threats that Trusty's going to need to come up against. Scales has done incredibly well this season at the start of the season. But there was a couple of kind of the higher games last year that there was a few mistakes maybe creeping in. So we've got to hope that the confidence that these guys are on the now in Scales and Trusty, we've got to hope that takes them up another level and they're able to kind of perform at this higher level. It's the elite level of kind of European football. So if you were asking me, would I prefer that Carter Vickers was in that starting lineup? 100%. Trusty, I'm hoping he does well. The first signs we're seeing with that game over the weekend, he looks as if he's capable of doing well. So we'll just need to kind of wait and see how he adjusts to that level of football, because he has been kind of playing with Sheffield United, although at the Premier League level as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see tomorrow, and I wish both Trusty and Scales all the best, because we'll need them at the very top of their game.
Yeah, obviously on Francis's point, Ryan, CCV not being there, Austin Trusty's obviously the go-to man. I think is going to come into the team. I know what Alan's saying about the difference in level, but again, the lad's played in, he's got some experience playing in the Premier League and stuff. He's played for the USA, so I loved what Arnie Engel says in his presser. When these lads are playing at Celtic Park and they're walking out of that stadium and that noise. In my opinion, he says that you can play anywhere. So, I like the confidence from him. And I just hope the rest of the dressing room has that mindset, mate.
Carter Vickers is a massive miss, mate. Make no mistake about it. He's a massive miss because it helps Liam Scales as well. And again, it's no disrespect to Liam Scales because he has been very, very good recently. But Carter Vickers helps him. So the odd time where he does make a mistake or he does misplace a pass or he does no mark his man, he's got CCV there next to him and he helps him and covers him. Somewhere when you go out wide, the odd time where, like you've seen it against Falkirk, no Falkirk, was it Falkirk? No, it wasn't Falkirk. Normally, sometimes Taylor, he might give the ball away or he might make a mistake, but he's got Maeda to cover for him. So that helps Taylor. Similar with Scales, with Vickers, he's got him next to him, so he plays better next to him. We don't know really. I know they played at the weekend there, like Alan says. I thought he was good. I thought Scales was good as well. The two of them were absolutely fine. But when you step up to this level, it's a different pressure, different environment, bigger stakes in a way because it's a higher prestige game. Obviously, every game with Celtic massive, you need to win, but you're playing against bigger talents, and I've got to agree with Alan. And people don't know my thoughts on that. This is where Greg Taylor and Liam Scales, this game potentially, and the Atlanta game will get judged at the full pelt. This is where we'll get judged to see if they have improved, if they are capable of getting away to the bigger teams and helping us, and then see if they do. I will go, do you know what, here, maybe I was a bit hasty on things, but we can all see us right now can only say what we feel right now and what we've seen. We can't say what's going to happen tomorrow or 2 weeks' time or you can't predict the future. You can only comment on what you know and what you feel now. And Vickers is a massive miss. But like you've said, JP, at the top there by Francis, you paid that money for him, so he obviously trusts him. He could have signed anybody else for that money, probably in the world. There's other players you're going to pay that money for, so he's obviously looked through and thought he's a man for Celtic to come in and help the squad. So I think he will play next to Seals. But listen, I agree with Francis as well there that I still feel we'll go and compete. Going forward, I think we'll score. So I think Dortmund will need to score 2 or 3 to beat us, because I think we will score. It's a defence. We don't travel well away in Europe. I think we've only won. I think the recent one was Rosenborg. Was that the last game away in Europe we won?
No, we beat Anderlecht.
No, in the Champions League. Anderlecht. That's what, sorry, no, it was Anderlecht. That's the last one we've won recently. So in terms of the Champions League, I think, off the top of my head, if I'm wrong, people can kind of comment in. We've competed.
We beat Lazio.
Sorry, there you go. Lazio, right, there you go. And that was Europa League. Aye. We've not travelled the best, but recently we have been going to Bayer Leverkusen.
I thought you were meant in the Champions League.
Right.
Sorry, I thought that's the competition you meant.
Bayer Leverkusen, I went to the game and I walked away thinking, how did we lose that? And for me, it was on the manager. The manager messed it up and making the subs at the time he did. Performance was good away from home, apart from Madrid, the red card. Even Feyenoord with their chances. So it's a bit of quality, I think, that we need to just iron out. And I think we'll find going forward, it's just defence. I think, like I say, JP, all the time, people might think I'm just saying things here for the sake of it, right? But we always see either the first 5 or 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes before half time, just after, or the last few minutes, and it kills you. They're the point in times where if you can see the goal, it flattens you. I'd rather concede at like 30 minutes. It still gives you, you've still got 50 minutes to half time, get yourself together. But if you concede before half time, it's a different total team talk. You score right the kick off, your team talks out the window. So if we stay solid for the first 10, 15 minutes, which we will need to, because I think they'll come out right away, the yellow wall will be absolutely buzzing.
I can't even see that.
It's all about how we defend, in my opinion, because I think we'll be fine going forward. I think we'll match the midfield in terms of, I know they've got Sabitzer might be fit, but he's been playing out the wide. You've still got Chan in the middle as well.
Chan's struggling in there though, isn't he? He's kind of went half at a wee bit.
He's still a good player, so if as long as your midfield can try and battle with him, then for me it's just about the defence, JP. And if we defend well, then we're in a massive chance. But for me, it's a defence, mate, and that's where we need to try and be kind of solidified. And I think we do need to tweak a wee bit. I just hope, I know our philosophy is attack 4-3-3, but if we go 4-3-3 tomorrow, I'm hiding behind my couch, because we've not got the manpower defensively to cope with that. Either if it's 4-5-1 or if it starts a 4-3-3, but as soon as you defend, you go to a 5-4-1 or a 4-5-1, then listen, that's fine. But if he goes gung-ho 4-3-3, then we'll need to build our luck a few times, because we seem to happen in Afreco last year.
Francis, obviously, before we let you go on your points, I'm just thinking about Trusty. I've seen some comments coming in about Big Trusty, and a couple of people are apprehensive about me playing with 2 left footers. I think they're only saying that because predominantly Trusty plays.
It shouldn't matter.
He's favoured football. He is both-footed. That's the thing as well. He can play with his right foot. That's why he didn't look at a place. He looked so comfortable. He's got pace. He looked powerful. And when he was challenging people, if anybody doesn't believe me, go and speak to Graham Carey. Pretty sure he'll tell you a different story as well. But I think, Francis, as well, what's going to help us is, it's Ryan and that are saying about the defence. What's been more impressive for me this season, mate, is the fact that the way we counter-press. So our counter-press is allowing us to win the ball back so many times that the defence isn't really getting put under any pressure, because between the transition, between the kind of mid-sixes into the going into the deep 6 role, we're winning the ball back and we're doing it at speed and hunting in packs. And when we're winning the ball back, the ball turns over. But we've got guys like Engels, Bernardo, McGregor, they can all look after the ball, even Nicholas Kuhn. So they're all able to look after the ball. And I think that's why we're getting so much joy, mate. Obviously, I just want to get your thoughts on that, because I see Celtic, the way they approach it, it's totally different from last season. Our counter-press is why we're hurting teams now and doing it rapidly.
Oh yeah, you noticed that on Saturday night. I mean, some of the recovery tackles we made in that game, especially Big Trusty, talking about him being a left-sided. If you remember that one, he chased back on the boy that was breaking into the penalty area. He won the ball with his right foot.
Yeah, I know.
Right, so I don't think that's really a problem for me. I thought he looked okay, he looked good. The only thing I'd say about the counter press with Dortmund, I think they'll move the ball a lot quicker than anybody we've played yet this season. That's where we need to really be on the ball. But I think we've got players we've got plenty of pace in the team. You know, you saw we were hunting in packs, even we were 6-0 up, and they were getting the ball in the right wing, and you're like 4 Celtic players running about them trying to get the ball right away. That's the kind of appetite you want to see for the players in this game, because I don't think you can let any Dortmund player with the kind of quality they've got have time to set themselves on the ball and get their head up for a pass. We've got to be biting, we've got to be hitting them all right away. And if we keep up that kind of momentum in the game that we did like in Saturday night, I think, as I say, I think we could get a result. I'm still going to temper my prediction. I think I'll be delighted with a draw. If we get a win, I'll be jumping up and down in the roof, you know. So
amazing.
I'll be sending nudies to Jurgen Klopp.
By the way, see because of the games.
Serious.
See, because the games are more at Coke. Half 10's half 11, so if we win, you're more than welcome to join me at half 11.
No, I was going to actually add that before the end of the night, Ryan, so don't worry, I would have got that in for us, but
the joy of 6 then, it'll be the joy of something else.
No, this is it.
50 Shades of Grey, Francis.
Yeah. No, this is it. We do try and cater for most, so don't worry about that. We certainly look after our own in that way. But no, really good point tonight, Francis. Thank you again for calling in, mate, and giving us your thoughts. And I hope you do, and you are jumping for joy tomorrow when the game kicks off and after the game finishes.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It's a pleasure again, lads, talking to you.
Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. Cheers, mate. Take care, mate.
Bye-bye. All the best, pal. Bye-bye. Thank you to Francis for coming on and giving us some points. Well, we've got our next caller. That's the way we roll now. We're doing it quite fast tonight. I like this. Most of these know this guy now. Last time he came on, he had his wee souvenirs for the podcast. The night he doesn't look like he's getting on tonight. I'm not meaning plays-wise, I'm just meaning any souvenirs or anything, so don't get all excited before I bring him in. But as indeed our sponsor of the podcast, Mr. Alec Beveridge. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Evening, mate. How you doing?
Evening.
I'm good, lads. How was your weekend? All right?
All good,
Yeah,
mate.
it was good, mate. Rounded off by a great night on Saturday after that victory.
Fantastic. I caught a wee bit of the game. I was working on Saturday. As you know, I had a thing over at the Chapel Hall in East Kilbride, a big celebration with Archbishop and stuff. So a wee eventful night, full of Celtic supporters running in and out of chapel, seeing what the score was. And yeah, the wee priest kept coming up to me and asking me the score all the time rather than doing communion. So aye, it was a mad night, to be fair. But fantastic, absolutely fantastic for Celtic from start to finish. I think that's probably about the best we've played all season.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
100%.
I just thought,
and obviously your thoughts, why? In which sense for you do you think that's the best we've played?
We're counter-attacking. As Francis says, we're recovery tackles.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's got to eat their words on the way Val and Trusty started. After the Falkirk game, I think a lot of them were hounding them out. But what you've got to take into account that day was we changed the full team. You know, we didn't have that same fluency of passing, the same, you know, we weren't quite on it because we didn't have the players to impact the game the way we have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Val and Trusty were outstanding. I thought everybody to a man were brilliant. And I think that's the reason I come on. It was going forward for that as well. Do you think that this is the best team since Martin O'Neill? Squad as well, since the Martin O'Neill era? Because I think it is. I really do. I just think going forward, we're fine.
Yeah, I'll go first. It's a yes from me. Ryan?
I did say, I think at the start of the season, that if we do something in Europe or our European record improves, then I'm going to say in terms of the full team, but in terms of if we go, for me, it's better than Angie's team. The football's better than Angie. Yeah. It's more, it's more balanced. We can defend. Ange was, you seen the Ange, obviously they beat Man U yesterday, Bev, but they were still be suspect the high line. And if we do that, if we've done that with Ange and Dortmund, we'd probably get beat if we played that high line, because it's so you need, it's his way of playing is amazing, but it's also heart in your mouth stuff, because I think Ange accepts that you're going to maybe lose 2 goals, but he knows you're going to score 3 or 4. But I think with Brendan, it's a bit more like if we get 2 or get 1, we'll be a bit more solidified at the back. And I'll be going, in terms of maybe the way we're playing football, I think it's better than Angie anyway, but O'Neill's, in terms of the football we're playing, it's better than O'Neill's. In terms of the football we're playing, in terms of how quick it is and the speed of play, but obviously ability-wise, listen, that's night and day, but in terms of some of the players, but I think it's close to it, Bev. I would say it's definitely matching just about in terms of the way we're playing, don't you, Alan?
Alan, I'm going to just come in again quickly just before you start, big fella. I actually think this team beats Brendan's first Invincible team. There you go.
That was my next point. Cheers, JP.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves yet, boys. We've played kind of 6 league games, we've played a cup game, we've played a Champions League game against maybe a team that are the best of quality. Has this team got potential to be the best team since Martin O'Neill? Definitely it has. We're playing exceptionally good football at the minute. Have we come up against a challenge like Dortmund yet? No, we haven't yet. So I'm going to hold fire just now. For me, the Invincible Brendan team, as of yet, is still a better team just now. But I could see that changing depending if we keep up these types of performances, this level of performance, and obviously if we get results in the Champions League, because I know it was just home games, but you look across the years when you're seeing Martin O'Neill getting a number of results against high level opposition in the Champions League. You're looking at Neil Lennon did it, Gordon Strachan did it. So there is teams out there since Martin O'Neill's team that has been very good Celtic teams. But it's really exciting to watch this team just now. But I think there's a bit to go until we can put them in comparison with the other teams. For me, I'm sitting on the fence at present, but I think it's potential. I know.
No, I was going to you took the words right out of my mouth there, big man. I was going to actually say
there's a while to go. Well,
that's the first time I've known an answer off of him ever.
Well, take example for last week. Right, there was a lot. I know. There was a lot of criticism, as Bev says, about.
Cut me there, I'll take that one. Cut me.
There's a lot of criticism with Valley and Trusty, and I says you can't judge somebody after a game. You only need to look across up the park at Nicholas Kuhn. Now last year, Nicholas Kuhn, whether that be had some sort of problem, toothache, dentist problem, whatever that may be. He didn't have a pre-season, but Nicholas Kuhn was nowhere near the kind of player that he's playing just now. Nicholas Kuhn for me is probably our most improved and probably our most influential player we've had this season up to date. And he was a shadow of that player last year, and that's how highly I'm praising him. And he was a shadow of that the 6 months after we signed him. So for me, these players need a chance to kind of get into the team, adjust and adapt to the way that Celtic play, adapt to the culture as well. So that's why I'm saying this just now. This could go absolutely brilliantly well. Or we could be sitting here speaking on Thursday or something about how it's went terribly wrong against Dortmund. So for me, I think the big questions are still to come. If we can answer them, then we'll have that conversation again, I think.
Listen, lad,
what's your take on it, big man?
I'm under the illusion about how difficult it's going to be, the Mora. Do you know what I mean? For the standards that we've come up against. But again, it's like everything else. You can only beat what's put in front of you just now. And we've steamroller everybody that's been in front of us. I think if we shore up just a wee touch tomorrow, but don't go too defensively, keep that same attacking press that we've got, I think we could do a bit of damage. I really do. I agree with Ryan. I think we'll score over there. I really do think Dortmund will have to come and maybe score 3 or 4 goals to, put the game to bed against us if they're going to do that. But the team across the water went out there and scored 4 goals. when they had no bad side.
Dortmund had about 100 injuries, didn't he?
Yeah, I know that, but it's you still look at they still went there. You still go again, JP. You still go to go and do the business.
Yeah.
So, as I say, guys, we're no illusion how difficult this is going to be. The biggest test of the season, like Alan says. Judge after tomorrow, I think, and I hope tomorrow it's a bit brighter. But yeah, it's going to be difficult tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to it. Really, really looking forward to it.
This is brilliant, man. Celtic won 6-0 on the weekend. We're on top of the Dortmund game. We're not even mentioning the game of the weekend. It's absolutely superb, by the way. That's why I love this dial-in show, honestly. This is what it's all about.
That's a good thing as well, because that means we are comfortable where we are in the kind of domestic league.
Yeah.
We've all the belief in the world that we are going to get into game after game and get the 3 points. And we're concentrating more on this Champions League, because that's the level that we think we're playing at. That's the level that we've stepped up to, and hopefully tomorrow we can go out and kind of put a good account out for ourselves. As we've said previously, it will be an extremely difficult task, monumental task. But see, as long as we keep it respectable, I don't think there's many people that are going to think we're going to go out and batter Dortmund. But as long as we keep it respectable and we don't get the hammerings we've seen the last number of years. As long as we keep it respectable, that keeps the confidence up within the team. And I'll be happy with that little progress. I think I'd love to see us kind of get a point or get a miracle of 3 points, but we'll see. I just want to see a good performance and that we're competing.
I think the best thing is, Alan, like you said, I think us as a fan base, just expect a good account of ourselves, because see if we get overexcited, like we're going to, then we do, if we do get a defeat, like maybe what we could, then we'll all be raging. Just go into this game. It's basically a cup final. 8 cup finals, 8 cup finals in this league. Go on, get a good account. If we get a result, brilliant. As long as we compete, I think that's the biggest thing. Compete, and I think as long as I'm agreeing with you, Bev, tweak your defence. I think if we defend properly, I think the attack takes care of itself, because we done well last year. I know we didn't get the results that we wanted. We still finished bottom of the group. I get that, but the bit of quality that we missed last year, I think we've now got in the forward line. I think it's just the defence now. As long as we stay defensively solid and listen, they'll have parts of the game where they will batter us, but we'll have parts of the game where we'll maybe have 5-10 minutes of real football batter them, because we're kind of too good team on the ball. So listen, I'm like you, Bev. I think we'll definitely score. It's whether or not we keep the ball at the back of the net, and I'm not saying this because I don't think we're good enough. I'm talking on past experience. Even with Martin O'Neill's teams, we went away and you beat after teams we shouldn't have been beaten. Stratton, Mowbray, Dyla, it's all through the history books. We went away from home and you beat after teams we shouldn't have, and we've been absolutely humiliated after bigger teams. Hopefully, cycles in life, lads, we all know cycles change. Hopefully, this is why Brendan Rodgers we brought back to this club, to make us, I don't want to say a force to reckon with, but make us better in Europe and make Celtic not just the whipping boys. I can't even get Celtic to win 3 and 4 and whatever else. Be solid. This is what he brought in, guys like Engels and guys like that. And on him, Bev, what's your thoughts on him? Because I watched his press the other day and his mindset, I don't want to say it's different for other guys in the team, but it's a total mindset of like, I'm here and I can't wait to be here. And like JP says, he says, if you can't handle the pressure playing at Celtic Park, then, or in this stadium in Dortmund, then just don't come. I think that attitude is brilliant. And he's obviously a young guy, but he's coming in experience, and that will go into the rest of the team as well.
Who was that, Ryan? Sorry?
Engels. His presser, he says in his presser, they asked him about the atmosphere in Dortmund. He says, well, we play at Celtic Park. If you can't play at Celtic Park, then you shouldn't beat Celtic. Basically, he says, if you play at Celtic, you should be able to handle this atmosphere. And he's like, and they asked him, if you win tomorrow, is that a statement? He's like, no, it's not a statement. It's just, we want to win and we want to show we are like this. So his mentality's like, it's nothing negative.
For a young boy, he's got a good head in his shoulders. He really has. His football brain is phenomenal. I mean, if you watch him even off the ball, when you watch some games, he's always looking about, he's always pointing, he's always bringing players into spaces, he's telling players to go to a space. The guy's football brain for a young boy is frightening. And that's what you pay money for.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you're going out paying that sort of money, that's the type of player that you want. I just think he's only going to get better. He really is. And I think nights like the Mora night is why we bought guys like that. I think he will be. I think he will be a big stone at the Mora, along with Kuhn, and hopefully Trusty gets a good account to sell as well. You know what I mean? But it's a full team, lads. We need to work as a team. We need to defend as a team. We need to attack as a team.
Yeah.
We just need to tweak the wee things that we always seem to get wrong in Europe. You know, nothing daft, because again, it's these European referees. You know what I mean? The tackle that Maeda done and gets sent up. You know, things like that.
The threshold's so small, mate.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's wee things like that early years. If you look at big games that we've had and just get beat, get back and look at the finer points of the games. It's just wee margins, and it's always against us. You know what I mean? It's wee margins that we lost a game, or an odd goal, which maybe we should have scored 4, but then a team got and scored 5, and you're out with 1 goal. You know, that kind of stuff. But hopefully,
game last year when Palmer got the goal disallowed, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's wee. That's what I'm saying. It's just wee things, man. It always seems to be against us. Do you know what I mean? But if you look at other teams, and when they get through games and get through competitions, the same thing happens to them. But we just, because we're Celtic players, Celtic supporters, it just seems to go that way. But if we do everything right and, you know, just show up on the stupid things, you never know. You never know.
Right. Nice one, big man. Well, listen, thank you very much for taking the time on a Monday night to come on and have a chat and give your thoughts, big fella.
Cheers, mate.
Pleasure.
And,
see you soon, all right?
Enjoy, mate. Hail, hail.
Big fella. Cheers again. Thank you. Thanks very much to Big Alec and the sponsor of the podcast to come on and have a wee chat with us. Now, we're moving on nicely. Again, we're into our third caller of the evening, probably the final caller with the time. And it is indeed the man who used to be part of the podcast. And just simply life takes over sometimes, as we know, lads, and maybe not having the time as he used to have. So it is indeed Mr. Barry McCandless. Good evening, big man. This feels a wee bit in uncharted territory here. I feel as if you should be here for the beginning and no dialing in, but it's good to see you, big man. I hope you're well.
All right, mate.
Doing great. Good to see you, JP, Alan, Ryan. Great to see you, boys. All good. Good to be on.
Good stuff. What brings you on this evening, mate?
Well, before I get to my main point, I'm going to backtrack a wee bit on the point at kind of Ryan started the show with, in terms of, you know, this narrative that goes about Celtic should be beating teams 4, 5, 6-0, and because of the amount of money we've been able to spend on players. And, you know, I've even heard it said that Celtic have got an unfair advantage. And what a load of nonsense. The advantage we've got in being able to spend money on those players is a legitimate one. It's an earned advantage. We've got that advantage through, you know, fantastic running of the club, intelligence, strategising, and making sacrifices over the years. No club wants to lose their best players, and us fans have had to suffer that year after year after year, and it's not been nice. So the position we're in now to spend big on Adamida, on Arne Engels, Trusty even, that's an advantage that Celtic have carved out for themselves. So, you know, there's no unfair advantage. It's an earned advantage that we've got.
Yeah. Ryan, we've spoken here at length about... Sorry, Barry, were you finished there, mate? Have you got another wee bit of that point to come in?
That was the point. I wanted to just kind of endorse what Ryan was saying, but I'll make my main point once you've had your say on that.
All right, okay. Well, just obviously we've had chats on here, and I've spoke to you boys even at length at this, even off here. Celtic's football transfer model, as Barry's saying, Ryan, for me is the main reason why we now find myself in this position.
Aye, it's like I says, we spoke about the end of the last season and pre-season that we had to tweak the model, and I think everything we have said on here has happened. It's been tweaked. Myself, personally, I've been crying out for us to spend that money, either if it's Adamida or Arne Engels, etc. Because the success rate, I think it was actually my old man that sent me, I don't know, I think it was actually on James Spears' podcast. I don't know if it's the full term as in Celtic transfers or the world transfers, but if it's like £11 million, £12 million more on the big signings, it's like 85% success rate. But if you spend £1 million, £2 million, it's like 15% success rate. So if that is the case, that tells you exactly what we've been saying and crying out for that. I know you might get a Yeti or Barkas, but you can't go back on that and just not to spend money, because we got Jota, we got Vickers for big money, and they've worked out amazingly well. So we've spent that money in Engels. You've seen the quality already. I know you can't judge too quickly, but you can see the boy's got talent, and the way we've tweaked it is good. And for me, it's all on the manager, and it's all on you. Listen, the board get a lot of critics, sometimes myself as well, but they can't be critiqued at all in terms of that window. Yes, maybe a bit quicker, but sometimes you take a back step, and ideally you man it fast. But the fact that we go to call in the end, I had to wait for it, and we've got it, and the board have got the praise for. Obviously, we've spent money, but we've no, because we've brought back in again, and we're still in profit, but we've still spent a lot of money to go and get these players. And the model's very good in terms of the way we're going forward, and they've set the standard now. Though I think next year you might get another £10 million player the next year, and that, because I think that's the way for us if we want to progress in Europe. I think that's the way the model's got to be, JP, but still buy the odd few million players to maybe help the squad.
Yeah, Alan, obviously, Barry's point there regarding the way Celtic have went about their transfer model over the last period of years, and the position we now find ourselves in, and being able to pay the money for Ida, the money for Engels. As a club, we've earned that right. But the rest of Scottish football somehow are trying to pick fault at, it's an unfair advantage, and Celtic's, how dare you? It's that kind of
sorry,
fingers at us.
See, when years ago, again, I was a wee bit alive. I was still a wee nipper, but when they were signing guys for down south for mega money and mega wages, when it seems unfair that Celtic in the league, when Celtic were spending 300 grand and signing guys like guys like Wayne Biggins, Tony Cascarino, guys like that, when it seems unfair in Celtic. See, it's all to suit a narrative. So I just thought I'd add that in, because
you did have a certain chairman who got off scot-free saying, for every fiver they spend, we'll spend a tenner.
It's funny how karma works, isn't it? How life changes sometimes.
Hey, Alan, you managed to shut him up there to get your point in, big fella. So
I think Ryan's original point was that they can't have it both ways. Like, we can't be criticised for outspending the rest of Scottish football, but when we get beat off the European elite, we're then like, oh, but you're rubbish. You should be competing there. So it's either one way or the other. I think the gulf between us and the likes of kind of St Johnstone, Ross County financially would be in comparison towards Celtic and say a Real Madrid or a Man City. So it can't go both ways. Celtic have done extremely well over the last number of years. Maybe a wee stutter the last kind of year or two before this transfer window in regards to maybe the players that Brendan didn't want. Brendan didn't choose those players, but he's definitely corrected that with the amount of quality that he's brought in this year. And that's coming to fruition on the park. You're seeing the types of performances, the level of performances that we're putting out just now, and it's exceptional. And I just hope that these level of performances continue, and we can make sure that we're competitive tomorrow and the other kind of exciting games we've got left in the new format of the Champions League. So yeah, we need to kind of praise Celtic. We're still in a massively good financial position, and we look as if we've got a fantastically exciting team that's on the park at present.
Yeah, I think that's the most, what Alan's saying there, Barry, I think that's the most glaring thing that we're all seeing now. This team's just, they're absolutely so entertaining. We just can't wait for the next game to come and into that one. Barry, have you frozen, mate?
Is that the BJP?
Musical statues.
Aye, you go, mate. Actually, mate. Aye.
Aye, man.
Right, one more, dear.
I think there might be a wee problem with the link,
Yeah.
mate.
You got me now?
Actually,
Yeah,
mate.
we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Aye, could
You might
be.
need to,
I
you
don't
might
know,
need to
can
go
you
out
hear
and
me
come,
okay
you
now?
might need to go out and come back in, mate.
No, I think, man.
That you now?
Right, let me give that a go.
Do somebody'd win at a styling competition, wouldn't
Technology.
Aye.
Technology
He's able-
these days, isn't
He's
it?
able
Technology.
By the way, he must have watched Inside the Huddle. That's a focus for Brendan Rodgers. He's installed on them. Well, that's
Technology these days,
I'm going to, before obviously Barry comes back in, I'm just going to enforce that I think it's the mentality of this squad. I think Plunge comment earlier on said it's about the attitude and the way they are and, you know, how they're going about their business. They're treating every game like it's a Champions League game. So I think that's what's helped us along the way. But Barry's coming back in, so we'll let him back in. Just now, see, we got him. We got you back. You there, big fella?
Guess who's back? Back again. You hear me okay?
Yeah,
we
all
can hear
good,
you
mate.
now, mate. I think there's a delay.
Just a delay, that's all.
I think there's a delay. Yeah. He might need to actually change and do it with his phone.
But I think
We'll
you're
give-
right, JP, and what you're saying there. I think that's what I think. When obviously at the weekend when I watched it with Alan, and that's what impressed me. It wasn't really obviously the goals were amazing and the patterns I played, but what impressed me was we were 5-0 down, and you've got Dyson Maeda chasing back like it's nothing each. That attitude and that will to win and desire and mentality, you can't teach that. That's no through a manager or through a coach. That's you, the will to win for your team and obviously for yourself to give your all. See if we do that tomorrow and we get beat, do you know what? We can't moan because they've busted their chops for you, and that's all we ask as fans. See if we get beat, if anybody, but you've bust your I don't want to say that word, bust your chops, then us as fans were happy about that because I know that's what you should be doing anyway, but there's a difference between giving your all and giving your all. And Maeda, guys like Maeda, does that every single week. McGregor, every single. Bernardo, when he came on, tremendous man. Sorry, when he started the game, tremendous man. And that's, don't know what you, Alan and JP, I don't know what you feel, but that's what I'm seeing more impressive about it. It's not about the counter press or about the attacking. It's a work rate off the ball because it seems to me like maybe, I don't know inside information or anything like that, but it might be one of the drills in training where you've got 5 seconds to get it back or 10 seconds, you need to get it back. If you don't, you need to do doggies or you need. That's the way it seems because the way they're working off the ball, that might help. That's going to help Europe, by the way, especially in recovery runs like Francis mentioned in the start of the show. So that's what's impressed me the most, lads. It's the off the work.
I think Ange said something right as well. Postecoglou I'm talking about, no Ange in the comments. Obviously Ange says stuff right as well. But Ange, when he first came in, says it's not exactly the player, it's the individual, it's the attitude. And there's a lot to do with that. So you're looking at the effort. We're not expecting to have the most talented players in the world, no by any means. But the minimum requirement at Celtic is to give 100% minimum. That's the absolute minimum. And you're looking at kind of guys like Dyson Maeda that's kind of running their socks off constantly. And everyone in that team's doing that. And I think that was why there was such a kind of bad reaction to guys like kind of Lewis Palmer he's just bobbing about as if he's on dancing on ice. Strictly Come Dancing or something. He's not putting in that effort. He's not chasing. He's not kind of carrying on runs. He's making the wee kind of smirks whenever he's losing the ball. We're expecting every single player to kind of put in 100%, and that's an absolute minimum. And as Ryan's saying there, that's what it looks the difference is just now. They're a team. They've got that togetherness. They're putting in every ounce of effort that they've got, and it's showing with the results and the performances that's been put across.
Yeah. We've got a comment in the comments for Big Barry. He's told us his Wi-Fi is dodgy, so that's been the problem, and that's why he was ahead of his Baristering contest. But his point was about the preparation for tomorrow. Brendan Rodgers has been plotting for these games since pre-season. I've said this to you lads as well. He believes that we are ready, and he believes we can go there tomorrow and get a result. Alan, this time around, I'll put this one to you, mate.
Oh, I hope he's 100% right. There's nothing in this world that would make me more happy for us to get a result tomorrow. Do I believe we can get a result? Yes, but we will need a lot of the kind of luck of the green as well. We will need a lot of things to go our way. We'll need to make sure that our defence and goalkeepers on the top of their form. And when we do get opportunities, we need to be clinical and we need to make sure we're taking them. So there has to be a lot that goes right tomorrow for us to kind of get a result out of this game. It's definitely possible. I'm sure as tomorrow goes on more, you know yourselves, boys, you get more of that confidence, like, oh, we could do this. So I'm sure I'll have a kind of
the first minute, here we go again.
I know. So there will be a roller coaster of emotions, but I'm just happy the way that we're setting up, the way that we're playing. And as I say, we need to step outside the box for a wee second. We need to just look at it in reality. And should we be getting a result against the Champions League finalists in their own patch? Possibly not. But I think the team's playing that well, that they're full of confidence, and they'll get into that game believing that they can get a result. So I'm no putting my expectations too high at present. I think as long as we make a fight here and we kind of keep it respectable, I'll be happy. But I will be over the moon if we manage to get a result tomorrow, because I think it'll be an absolute brilliant achievement if we manage to do so.
Ryan, you're taking Barry's comment?
No, I think Barry's absolutely spot on. The preparation has been leading up to these games, and like it's kind of echoed to what we've said on here, and it's kind of echoed me personally that our standard in terms of setting standards or the way we're playing, it's no for Scottish football at this present time. It's to try and make a mark in Europe. If we can try and get better results in Europe, be more competitive in Europe, that's what our standard is now. I think we're that good that you still need to be respectful against Aberdeen, St Johnstone, St Mirren, even them across the water. For me, we're miles ahead. I don't care what anybody can debate to me. They can say this and that. Celtic are miles and gulf away from every single Scottish club. Financially, players, manager, boardroom, every single thing. Celtic are miles ahead. Like you always say, JP, if it's an Xbox game, it's done. It's done tenfold. It's completed.
We've completed it time and time over.
Call of Duty's finished. You know what I mean? It's done. That's Celtic in Scottish football. But what I love about this team is, and I think what we spoke about, and what Barry's going to obviously.
I think, by the way, you're not with Call of Duty. I think the big man's grew on you that much that you've got big skills. He's a sergeant. He's a sergeant of your team, isn't he?
I think what we've all says and what Barry says is the preparations leading up to this is it's getting you confident. It's getting the manager seems very, very calm. He seems that he knows about what he feels are going to do tomorrow. Guys like Engels, Bernardo, McGregor, they're playing really well, and you've got to be optimistic that you're going to try and get a result. Listen, the players will believe they're going to go and win, because if they don't, then they'll not be playing. Yeah. I know that for a fact. If the manager senses that they're maybe no update in training, they're not really feeling it, they'll not be playing tomorrow. They'll not be playing it for any game with Celtic if you're no update. So, but I want to go back to the St Johnstone game, because obviously tomorrow,
we've gone back to Saturday. There we go. Spent the last 2 minutes talking about the Dortmund game.
Obviously, at the end of the show, we'll let obviously the viewers know about a really good show we've got coming up tomorrow. But on St Johnstone, it's one of the best performances I've seen, and it's getting to this. In fact, it's got to the stage now where teams are looking at us in the tunnel, like Kuhn's on form. Kyogo's scoring goals.
Yeah, no, 100%.
There's that boy Engels he got for Germany. Bernardo, McGregor.
He does on the bench.
That's what he does on the bench. You still get other guys on the bench. even McKibben can know. You're winning games in a tunnel, in my opinion. And one player I want to talk about is Bernardo. That guy's he's got to start tomorrow. For me, he's got more legs in terms of going forward for me.
You're going to upset him now.
Hatate, by the way, is an unbelievable player on his day, but he's been a bit inconsistent this season in some of the games.
God's sake, he's been in a good mood all night, man, and you waited to the end to hear
that. I think Bernardo deserves to play. I think he's come on to a game now. Hatate done okay when he came on, but it's very hard to come on when you're flying. It's very hard as a football player to come on when you're 3 or 4 up and come in. It's very hard to come in and actually put your stamp on the game because the game's dead. The game's done. So Hatate did do well when he came on, but for me, Bernardo's attitude and the way he's been playing, I think he deserves to play. And listen, he could play and falter, but I think on the game at the weekend he was very good and he took his goal well. And listen, I hope Greg Taylor's fit as well because he's been playing well recently. But if he's no fit and his calf is too tight and he can't play, I've got every trust in Valle. He's come to Barcelona, so you've got to trust him that he's able to come in and step in for these big moments. So, but in terms of the performance, mate, the weekend, it was make no mistake about it. Like I said at the start of the show, forget about how much money you've spent. Forget about how St Johnstone will get a manager. It's 11v11 on the park. What happens on that park? Quality and how much money you've spent takes that's done. It's what you do in 90 minutes, and the football was tremendous. It was 2-touch, 3-touch, boom, bang. Schmeichel again with his distribution. Listen, that was if you want an all-round performance, that's why you watch football. That is the way us as fans want, and that's a joy to watch, mate. You might say somebody can maybe finish a chance more or trust you could have been a bit stronger, but see if you're really nitpicking because all round that performance was flawless. And I've seen some wee pundits like they're trying to compare it to now Dortmund. Forget about Dortmund. Saturday, and you can only go on Saturday. Focus on Dortmund tomorrow when we're playing Dortmund, but that at the weekend should send shivers down Scottish football. That mob are put in the corner, and the ball in the corner with a few minutes to go against Hibs. That tells you the story where we are and where they are. They're struggling to beat Hibs at home, and we're going to be up to Perth and winning 6-0 in first gear. Tremendous, mate. Tremendous, lads.
Alan, obviously yourself, mate. Your take on that, the first point Ryan made there about obviously Bernardo keeping his place in the team, and over your good man, Mr. Rio Hatate.
First of all, I think as we stand just now, the better player definitely is Rio Hatate. For me, hands down. I know Paulo Bernardo's got a lot of potential and he's doing exceptionally well. But for me, Rio Hatate offers you far better technical ability. Maybe not as consistent as Bernardo has been recently. But I'm probably going to surprise you. I think we should start Paulo Bernardo tomorrow. And the reason why is, and I've said this for a number of weeks, is I'm hoping that we set up slightly different for these European games. And I'm looking at, we should have maybe 2 number 6s that's going to be sitting there. And for me, as much technical ability that Rio Hatate's got, I think that Paulo Bernardo's got that wee bit added kind of physicality in his game. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that he's got more legs. You've seen kind of early on in Rio Hatate when playing under Ange, how many kind of runs he made back to make saving tackles as well.
At this present time, though, I think Bernardo's got more legs than him. The way he's playing.
I would agree.
I'd be choosing Paulo Bernardo alone just for the physicality.
Yeah.
I think that you need a couple of players in there, Cal McGregor and Paulo Bernardo. Then we need to try and dictate that midfield. We need to try and win that midfield battle. And that would go a long way for us getting a result tomorrow if we can win that midfield battle. And I think we're going to have a lot of pressure that's going to be in the back four. So if we can put 2 kind of physical players, maybe McGregor is the most physical, but you're looking across that midfield, who's got the most physicality across that midfield, and you probably tend to say it would be Paulo Bernardo. So for me, I would have McGregor and Bernardo sitting with Engels just kind of up one after that, and hopefully we can frustrate Dortmund and win that midfield battle. And as I say, that will go a long way for us kind of try to obtain a result.
Yeah. I just think right now, Bernardo, for me, he adds. For me, this is what splits both of them. I think Rio Watati gives the ball away more. I think Bernardo is one of those players who can play in a tight area. And for me, at that level, you need more than one. I'm glad we've got Callum McGregor and we've got Arnie Engels there as well, because Arnie Engels can do it. And you need to be able to play in tight areas, especially when you have 2 or 3 closing you down. Try to do what we do to teams here, counter press and do it at speed. For me, Rio Watati gets harried into something and he rushes a pass, and sometimes the pass doesn't make it to where he sent it. That's the downside of Rio Watati for me, and it's probably the only thing you can moan about him regarding, because
he's a risk taker. I think that's maybe why he takes probably more risks and tries to make that more kind of sublime pass more than the other guys.
Yeah,
which sometimes is a great thing because it looks brilliant, but as you say, sometimes he's giving away the ball.
At that level, can we afford to have somebody that takes risks? No, for me, because you seem to get punished quickly when you give the ball away. In the Champions League at the top level against, like you've said earlier, Alan, we're playing a team and guys that played in the Champions League final last season. So when you play at that level, you need to be at it. You need to be bang on, and that's the only difference for me in both players. I also think, if you look back to last season as well, Bernardo was fancied by the manager because he played a couple of Champions League matches for us, even away from home. I thought he was one of our best players in Lazio last season.
His performance in Lazio was brilliant. I thought he was our best player.
I thought he was very good. So for me, that's the only difference in both of them. Bernardo, obviously, he can ping a ball as well. And he's scored a couple of really good goals for us as well. His goal on Saturday was a peach. And he's grown and grown on me now. Everybody was, even after the Rangers game, everybody was talking, he's got to be the next big one, he's got to be this. And then Arnie Engels put a strip on and we're all like, oh my God, we understand now how or why we've paid 11 million quid for this guy. Because he's at a different level. He's, like Bev says, the way he thinks about the game, the way he sees the game, it's totally different. And that comes, guys, with no disrespect, but he's playing against teams like Leverkusen, Mönchengladbach, Frankfurt, Dortmund, Bayern Munich. He was playing against these teams every other week. So you have to be bang at it. You need to
he made his debut against Dortmund.
Yeah. You need to be bang at it. And you're playing against these teams week in and week out. And it's a far superior league to the league we've got. That's just a fact. Every game in that league's probably like a Champions League match. If you look at the teams in the league, the technicality that's involved, the speed, the way the teams play, even on the pitches, man, they're all state of the art. I've even heard Brendan Rodgers speak about the pitches, and that's why he was so big on Celtic Park changing the pitch. So yeah, I really think when you look at that aspect of it, I think you need to have. I can see where fans are coming from in terms of his runs and everything else. For me, his recovery runs are really impressive. The energy that he gives the team, and I think he just gives us an extra insurance with keeping the ball. He can play at speed and he can slow it down when needed as well. And I like that attribute in him as well. So no matter what the team is tomorrow, lads, I just think the team's going to be strong and we're looking forward to it. But as you said, Ryan, we're at that time of the night now where we need to let everyone know what's coming tomorrow. So tomorrow we will be doing the Take Me to Paradise. But we're up, Ryan, because of the way you like your wee rosary beads rattling about there, man. We're hitting a time at night where I hope we don't sleep in the morning. But we're up early doors for this one. And William Glavin, the man that does the True Tactics, and he's coming onto the podcast as a guest tomorrow. We've got a nice wee turn of events for you, so we've get a nice wee tactical breakdown on the way Dortmund set up. So William really knows the Bundesliga really well, and he's well assured in what he's going to be giving us tomorrow. So I don't know about you lads, but I'm looking forward to this.
Definitely, yeah. It'll be good to get someone that's more kind of tactically efficient and more good selves to kind of delve into things a bit further. Obviously, we can watch this, but when a guy goes into detail a lot more than we are maybe used to, it's a great insight to find out, and hopefully it'll be a great watch for the audience.
Yeah, Ryan, I think knowing Dortmund as a team and speaking about them the way we have tonight, I think after tomorrow, mate, we're going to know more about them than we've ever known. I don't know if it's just me. I'm getting that feeling, mate.
I think, obviously, listen, a lot of people know about Dortmund, but there's a difference between knowing about Dortmund and just looking at stats and data, but actually knowing about the tactical side. Now, listen, we've all played football, and you know a bit about tactics and certain names and phrases and 6s and 8s and 9s and transitions, all that carry on. But the way when somebody who's tactically aware, like William, who's been, he's been an agent, he's a sport analysis, he does tactical analysis, scouting, now he does his own two tactics, his own business, helping players perform and data and stuff. So William's going to go through tomorrow with us. It will be out tomorrow afternoon for the game. I'm not just saying this because we're doing it, but I would advise for people to tune into it. If you're into tactics or data and analysis and stuff, it's going to be probably going through Dortmund with a pretty, what do you call it, a fine tooth comb. It's going to be really good because the one that he done with us against them across the water was done through a tooth comb and to get everything bang on.
I actually think Brendan had the team up to midnight, didn't he?
I certainly did, because everything that was said on that podcast just about happened in the scenarios that were going to happen with Maeda and Tavernier and everything else, and it happened. So hopefully Williams gets something for us. Obviously, we don't know what he's doing because we've told him to obviously come up with his own analysis. So we've got ours as well. We'll put to William, but I'm really looking forward to getting ins and outs of William's stuff tomorrow, and I would put across to the fan base that I would tune into it tomorrow because it will be inciting for us, and hopefully it is inciting for you, and hopefully we can maybe drum up some confidence for the game tomorrow night.
Yeah, 100%, and it will be out before tomorrow night's game if anybody wants to see that. Also, before we go, guys, I must tell you that obviously, as most of you probably know now, the Celtic Unrestricted View are doing a live event tonight with Joe Muller on the 19th of October, not March, because I said that on Friday. I'm on the ball tonight, Ryan. Don't worry about that, mate. It's definitely October. I've had it all reassured with the boys now and Joe Muller himself now. It's definitely October. It's no March because Big Alan was disappointed. He thought he was going to be away for it. But no, it's definitely October. Tickets are on sale just now, but they are selling quite fast, guys. So I would advise anyone at all who's looking to come along to that night, get your tickets ASAP, because they are selling fast. And I wouldn't want to be, for anybody to be in the position that you have missed the opportunity to get your ticket. To do so, guys, there is I put up our PayPal if you want to pay your £10 into the PayPal. If you do that, please reference your name so we know who you are, and that way we can add you to our guest list. If you live closer to the Morven and you live nearby and you find it easier to, if you've not got PayPal and you want to get into the bar, tickets are behind the bar as well, so you can go in and pay your £10 in there as well. But please don't be the one that misses out, because I wouldn't want anybody, lads, you know what it's like yourself, and you've tried to get tickets for events and stuff, and you've got to that point where you're going now and you end up just gutted, you know, that you missed it, and obviously you missed that chance. So I would advise anyone, as we know, the tickets are going quite quickly, so get along and get your ticket right.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see some of the guys that obviously tune out the podcast. It'd be good to meet us in person and just get to meet us, because it's obviously through a screen or for our YouTube channel. So yeah, really looking forward to it. It'll be a fantastic Celtic night. Speaking to Joe first, get his story, get his career, get to know him in person. Then obviously after when Joe's finished with his interview with us, there's obviously going to be a DJ with who the man who you've seen in the podcast, like Mr. Beveridge, and there will be raffles as well, so there will be a chance to win some Celtic stuff as well.
Not just any Celtic stuff, we've got a signed and match-worn Nicholas Toon jersey.
Yes, so we have got a Nicholas Toon jersey, all signed and authenticated as well, so there will be other things as well, but fantastic night. We're looking forward to seeing everybody. As JP says, your tickets are selling sort of bit today as well, so looking forward to seeing you all who've bought things today. We appreciate it. Appreciate the support for the channel, and obviously seeing Joe as well, so looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing you two guys dressed in Mankinis. I can't wait to see that.
It's got to be better than that, Sam and Hoodie you're wearing, I'll tell you.
By the way, do you know what? By the way, see because of that, I'm going to wear it tomorrow, just specify.
I'm not looking forward to this dress rehearsal we've got planned, by the way. I'm not kidding on. But Alan, you'll be glad to know that it's in October, big man, and no in March.
Aye. Well, that's just after St Paddy's Day, so I don't think I'll be in any fixed state in the 19th of March to do anything like that. I probably knock Joe out with my breath with the alcohol breath. So I know it's promising to be a very good night. Looking forward to it a lot, and obviously there'll be a wee bit of eye candy there, and JP and Ryan will be there and all. But no, it's one of the nights. I think it will be a great night. It's always good to hear stories from ex-Celtic players, and it'd be very enjoyable to kind of meet the guys that are speaking on the live chat here constantly. Kind of put a face to the name. Maybe they don't want to show the face to the name, but
maybe.
Right, I know. But
no, they're the ones that are coming in with a Joe Miller mask on their face.
Aye. So it's not Mark the real mask, the Henrik Larsson one, mind. So no, I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a fantastic night for us and for all.
100%, yes. And as I said, I've left the PayPal up, guys. If any of you want to, at the tail end, get your tenner across, just reference your name. That's all you need to do, and we'll get you added to that list. But above all else, folks, I want you to have a lovely evening, what's the rest of it. And if you're going to Dortmund tomorrow, if you're watching, please be safe, enjoy yourself, have a good time. Come back and tell us about the stories about the yellow wall, were these noises, the Green Brigade and the boys. Was it as intimidating as what people are making out? Suppose we'll find out as you get back. But if not, and you're watching it on the TV like we are, we hope you enjoy, and we hope we're all, next time we see you, we're all still smiling as we have been domestically. But above all else, folks, take care, hail, and we'll see you all again. Bye-bye.